So let's continue with the printer. Last time I explained you operation and construction of printer, specifically two most popular printers. That is, one is dot matrix printer, another is laser printer. Now today we'll go for another. It is also day by day it is becoming popular and it is becoming cheaper also. That is inkjet printer. The technologies are completely different from other two printers. It comes under the category of non-impact printer and it also produces a very high quality printing. Nowadays printing available with this is 300 dpi. If you go in the market and if you go for a very good inkjet printers, you'll dpi comes to about 1200, even 2400 dpi is also possible. That means there is a tremendous development even in this particular inkjet printer. It has also got a very high speed of printing, and most popular, this is most popular because you can get a color printing at a very low cost. That is the advantage of this inkjet printer. Now, as I said, there is a improved models are available with very high DPI, and the technology starts right somewhere in 1985, 86 onwards. This technology, printing technology, actually started using inkjet printing technology. Let's talk about. You may have a black and white inkjet printer, or it can be a colored inkjet printer. If it is a black and white, then you will have only one black and white cartridge. But if it is a color, then in that case you will have a three cartridges. Normally that will be yellow, cyan and magenta. These are the three colors popularly used for printing any types of instead of RGB. Now here, if you see the operation of this particular printer, you will find you will have a print head assembly which is carrying actually four ink cartridges as I shown. It could be yellow, cyan, magenta as well as black. Then here in this printer, software instructs where to apply the dots of ink, which color is to be applied and what quantity is to be used. It is completely under the control of software. Then electrical pulses are sent to the register behind each nozzle. Actually, this nozzle is in the each cartridge. Then vapor bubble of ink are formed by register, and the ink is forced to appear the paper through the nozzle. That means here one heating element is used. Then this electrical pulses actually hits that particular element. Upon hitting this, then it forms the bubble of that particular color, and that bubble is forced to come out through the nozzles, and it will actually appears onto your paper. Actually, for printing better quality printing, a matrix of dots are formed, which actually gives the characters or pictures. You know already now the dots, that is a important feature of printer is DPI, dots per square inch. And by using this DPI, you can form a one matrix. And matrix by matrix, these characters can be printed or even pictures are printed. But here most of the times you will find either dots or most of the printing is done line by line in inkjet printer. If you see some of the parts, what is inside inkjet printer, then it has a print head assembly which actually contains the series of nozzles through which actually the actual ink comes out. Then ink cartridges, depending upon the model and manufacturing of printers, ink cartridges comes in the various combinations. Mostly ink cartridges for color inkjet printer there will be four cartridges, and for black and white there will be only one cartridge, which is actually attached to the head assembly. Then you will have a print head stepper motor. This stepper motor moves the print head assembly back and forth across the paper. That means your paper is also moving, your head assembly is also moving. Head assembly is moving under the control of stepper motor. Then there will be a stabilizer bar. The movement of print head is controlled and made precise by the stabilized bar. Then you will have a belt. Belt is used to attach printed assembly to the stepper motor. Because of this, actually your head assembly entirely moves from back and forth or from left to right. like this movement is there, which is precisely controlled by stabilizer bar. Then you would have a paper tray feeder. You can see from this particular figure, this is actually a paper tray feeder. It enables the user to load the paper into the printer. Then once the paper is taken, this paper is actually accepted by what we call as a roller. This roller mechanism takes care of at a time through the sheets or through the feeder. It takes only one paper at a time. Then you'll have a control circuitry. This controls actually mechanical aspect of the operation, as well as it will decode the information sent to the printer from the computer. That means this is a data or instruction that is contained in what we said PDL language, that is the print data language, and these instructions are decoded, and accordingly this mechanical action is taken by this particular printer. Then here, if you conclusively, if you want to see what are the steps of this, these steps can be seen here in one slide only. At the right hand side, how exactly inkjet printer works. Principally, it has three steps. These three steps are, you may say these three steps are, first you have to heat the element, heating element tube containing the nozzle inside the printhead. That means every cartridges there will be a ink cartridges. There will be a nozzle, and inside this nozzle there will be heating element. This heating element actually heats up. It forms the bubble in the ink. So you can see here this is ink. Bubble is formed. Then this bubble is forced to come out of that particular nozzle using the in this particular tip. So this is whenever this bubble comes out, it actually imprints or it prints onto what is called as onto your paper. If you see the entire operation of this inkjet printer, you'll find this is a paper feed. You can from top, normally for inkjet printer, papers are feed from top and printouts is taken from down as our against to the other types of printers. So once you paper feed from the top, then you will find there is a control circuitry here. Then ink cartridges are there. There can be one cartridge or there can be three cartridges. This belt which actually holds stabilizer bar as well as the head assembly, and because of this rotation with the under the control of stepper motor, it actually moves this entire assembly over the paper. And at a one time, one by one time, as per the instruction given, it actually forces these colors to come out from this, and it actually print this. So you will find at the end here this horse printing is there. So one by one line is printed actually. That is why you will find the printing of this inkjet printer is relatively slow. This may be for a low cost inkjet printer, but it is possible that you can also have a very high speed printing possible. Even I will say here there are certain inkjet printers available which can give you 100 and 150 pages per minute. So popular printing technology used here, what we say, probably if you go in some printing shop, then you might have heard what is offset printing. So this is one form of offset printing, you can say. Also, normally this type of printing even used in uh, newspapers and all this. So there are very high quality, sophisticated. This is there. Even in the market now, inkjet printers are becoming popular. And because if you want a print quality, now it is possible in the market also. If you purchase a printer of about 10,000 rupees, the cost of printing comes very down drastically now. It is maybe for 25 paisa to 40 paisa per page printing cost. Of course, that will depend upon the content of the what you are printing, but basically it is around 40 paisa. Initially, it was 5 rupees or 10 rupees. Now it is 40 paisa. That is why in the market, even if you take a printouts, color printouts, probably you can get a one color printouts maybe within less than 2 rupees or 3 rupees. That is possible because of inkjet printer only. So here you can see this is the inkjet assembly that which actually rotates. Then there is a paper feed stepper motor control. Actually, it moves and it takes the paper. It gives the uniform speed to the paper, and then by matching the speed of the paper and the data coming out through the nozzles, it actually imprints on this, and all this respective rollers are there, print image that is actually shown here, and the papers comes out through the paper execution. So these are the important parts of any inkjet printer. Let's come to the next. What are the advantages, disadvantage of this? As I said, it has got very high resolution of the output. It is energy efficient. And there are many options available for to select. You can go for black and white. You can decide the what should be the quality of the printing by selecting the DPI, and then you so there are many options selected. But basically, disadvantage of this is that relatively it is expensive. As I said, nowadays now it is affordable cost. If you want to compromise the cost and quality, then probably yeah, inkjet printers are much better. Then it has you have to use a specialized paper required for high resolution output. If you really want to have a good quality, you have to use a better paper. And as I said, it also printing is slow, hence it is called a time consuming, especially if you are going for graphics printing. But of course, again, if you have a heavy duty printer, then this problem is automatically solved because it prints many copies per second. Now the last part from this printer that I am going to explain you is something printer specifications. When we say printer specification, I believe you should know the basics, what facility the printer can provide. That is why I have taken a specification and I have compiled all these particular specifications. Let's see, I have taken one printer which is Canon printer, which is having 35 ppm capacity. That means this is a relatively, we'll say it is a heavy duty printer. When it is giving 35 pages per minute, then it is relatively, I will say, moderate printer, because I know that I have, when I work in Maharashtra State Board Technical Education, we used to have five printers. Then 75 ppm printers are there, all five printers. And we used to print all mark sheets and all the documents related of the students in house only. That means in computer center only. Throughout the night and days we used to print, and even today also they are printing this. This is the print in-house printing I have started in MSBT. About 7 to 8 lakhs of mark sheets are printed by using this particular laser printer having 75 ppm. So if you go for the features of this, that is the only purpose, but just you to understand the features of such a sophisticated printer. Then let's see what are the facilities. Very first is
Not able, audible. Sir, your voice is not audible.
तुमचा माईक म्यूट झालाय, आवाज नाही येत.
Old age people na physical.
then you should have told me
सर परत म्यूट
initially
झाला.
on. कधी झाला तो? हे पहिल्यांदाच झालेला आहे. हॅलो, म्हणजे आय हॅव एक्सप्लेन यू
हा सर, आता
एव्हरीथिंग इन. नाही, अगोदर येत होता का आवाज का नाही?
नव्हता
येत
येत,
होत.
आता येतो.
अगं मग त्याच वेळी सांगायचं ना. एनिवे अगेन अजिबात, म्हणजे तुम्ही नुसते पाहतच गेला मी जे काही सांगत होतो ते.
नाही म्हणजे मध्ये एक
नाही
10
सर,
ते
येत
15
होता ऐकू.
सेकंदाचा
आता 1 मिनिट झालं.
हा, एक मिनिट झाला असेल
आता
हार्डली.
1 मिनिट झालं
आय
सर.
डोंट नो
माईक
हाऊ
म्यूट
इट्स
झालं.
ऑटोमॅटिकली बिन, म्हणजे कसा बंद झाला तो. बट एनिवे ओके, एनिवे आय विल कंटिन्यू विथ दिस. Actually,
Yes, sir.
as I am taking a lecture,
जमा
सर परत म्यूट झाले.
फोनवर बोलतायत सर.
अच्छा ठीक.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's okay now. Okay, fine. Now again, I'll come to this. As I was talking about the printer, and I specifically chosen this specific printer, which is 35 Canon printer. Okay, as I was talking about this, I have used this particular PPM printer when I was working in Maharashtra State Board Technical Education, Mumbai. In fact, we used to print these mark sheets of about 7 to 8 lakh students, and this is in-house printing. And these are very sophisticated printer, and that is the reason I'm going to explain you some specification of it. Very first is black speed. What is the print color? That is the black color, and the speed is about 35 ppm, which is a moderate relative. Remember now, there are about 115 or 150 ppm machines are available in the market. Then category is under laser printer. Features is print, scan, and copy. That means both you can print, scan, and copy. If you see the connectivity features, it has got USB ports, it has got Ethernet ports, as well as it has got the modem ports. And this can have a 1 Gbps ports. That means you can, that is a network printing, as well as there are certain direct communications are possible through this printer because it has got its own microprocessor. Then it has got wireless capability. Not only wireless capability, it has also got certain good features, security features, some authentication features. That means if you can put a password or you can authenticate it, the user who has given the authorization to use, only those people can use. Then there are standard network protocols it supports. Internet protocol v4, v6, which networking. Then the dynamic host configuration protocol, that is DHCP, where you don't need to put any IP addresses. And even it has got its own firewall. That means it is very good and secured printer, which has got a very good wired or wireless capability of networking. Then the main network as media handling, it can have finished output handling. As I said, stapling is possible. You can make a booklet of 8 to 16 pages. Hole punching is also possible. If you really want to punch somewhere, you can punch the papers also, which is printed automatically. It has got some envelope. It has got certain sheets, which there can be 3 or 5 or 5 sheets feeders are there, or one uh, A4 feeder will be there, A3 feeder will be there. Or if you are going for a very high printing, then in that case you can have a very huge stack of one tray. That is a huge tray will be available, maybe of consisting capacity of 1,000 papers, which you can put inside one tray, and from this one, after the tray, as the pages finish from one tray, it will automatically take the pages on another tray. Then this is display specification. So it has got its own graphic display onto it. That is a touch screen display. It is there on a control panel, and almost all sort of operations you can control from this, right from configuring a printer, maybe taking hard copy, or maybe taking the copies or hard copies, or printing or scanning. Every operations it is controlled through this, even setting your IP address and user authorities. Then scan speed. This scan speed can 80 ppm, or it can have 160 impressions per minute. It can have a scan black and white scanning. Sometimes it some of the printers do have a color print scanning or capability also. Then cartridge and pin set. The only one cartridge will be there. That is the one black cartridge, and which may support up to 20,000 of pages. That means for printing of 20,000, 40,000, you will require only one type of cartridges. Then here, then print copy speed, that is here if you see print copy speed up to 35 ppm it can print. Both it can print as well as it can copy. Even it can also scan multiple pages because it has got its own automatic document feeder scanner available. Then there are certain power ratings on which it works. Then it is power consumptions, what power it will take. Then what is more important feature is digital sender specification. That means you can directly send the copies from this particular printer. You can directly scan to email. If your emails are served, that you can directly scan and mail to the concerned person. Save to network folder. You can save anything scan onto your hard disk directly within your folder. You can save to USB drive also, save to SharePoint. You can send to FTP, that is file transfer protocol you can use, and directly large data can be sent over this. You can send to internet fax, or you can use a SMTP protocol, or you can that is it is shown here: automatic color, copying, printing, scanning, etc. Then what are the file formats supported? Almost all the file formats, that is CSV, HTML, GPF, PDF, then TIFF file, RTF file, even Unicode file or XML file or XPS file, that is a print fax files. All these are file formats are supported on this. Then if you see print time, then once you fire a print, within 7.6 seconds, first printout will be generated from this. That means even if it is a heavy duty printer, it takes certain warm up time. But even that, whatever the time given here, once you fire this within 8 seconds, first print will come out from this particular printer. Then if you see, there are certain internal storage, that is it has got its own hard disk. It supports the different printing languages, that is HP PCL, 6 HP PostScript, emulation, and PDF. These are the three PDL languages, as I said, for print data language, and these are very popular. And remember, HP is a leader into this particular languages. That is why it has got HP PCL language, HP PostScript language, as well as you have got PDF. It is also the another languages that is used for giving print instructions. Then paper trays, there can be 5 paper trays. Standard, there are 3 papers. When you say duty cycle, see their duty cycle is about 3 lakhs. When you say duty cycle, it is an important parameter to judge the capability or a robustness of your printer. When you say duty cycle, that is average number of copies that can be printed. In a month, it can give about 3 lakhs of pages. That is called as a duty cycle of the printer. Then recommended monthly page volume, it is about, though it has got a heavy duty of 3 these, but they normally recommend you certain size. That means you should not go for printing everything at once, though you have to distribute over a time frame. Then duplex printing is possible. Then warm up time, it hardly takes 164 seconds to uh, get it warm and then starting printing. Then there are certain fonts and type spaces available, almost 84. So these are the all specification. Apart from these, there can be certain environmental specifications. There can be certain warranty specifications, or there are literally, if you go for any, if you really wish to purchase any printer, I can always say that you must know the specifications of the printer, at least major specification of the printer. And once you understand the specification, once you see the specification, understand the specification, it will definitely help you to select the proper printer for your applications or for your work. So this is all about the printers that I'm going to that I have decided to explain. Let's see, after this we will start the another one that is related to. So let's start about. Can you see the scanner now? That's a slide, and can you hear me? Okay. Can you see the slide and can you hear me?
Sir,
Sir, we can see
PPT is
you,
not.
but PPT is not visible.
PPTs are not visible.
No.
Oh, okay. Now it must be visible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the scanner now. We have seen the printer. Now this is another important. Most of the times, printer and scanner, there is both facilities are available. Now, what is basically scanner? You already know. It is a device that analyzes the images or printed text or handwriting or even an object such as ornament, and it will convert this into digital image. So anything you want, you have a picture or a text, and if you want to convert it into digital image, normally we use a scanner. So now even in your mobile also you normally try to use scanning facility. So now let's come what like printer, you have different types of scanners based on your applications. So 95% times the normal users use a flat bed scanner. Sometimes you need to use a drum type scanner or a film type scanner, handheld scanner, sheet feed scanner, or slide scanner. So these are the different types of scanner based on your application. Let us say what are the certain important features of any scanner. So it is important scanning speed. That means how many sheets can be scanned or how many pictures or images can be scanned per minute. Then scanner resolution, that is minimum resolution, it should have 400 dpi. Mostly you can have a resolution something like 1200. Nowadays even 2400, it is a popular dpi scanner. It is a very good even if a dpi increases 600 or 1200 dpi, most of the time that is sufficient for most of hd application. For hd application you should have 1200 or 2400 dpi. That means very good quality scanning. Then scanning mode, you can have a color or a black and white scanning or even grayscale scanning is available. You can, whatever the scan, you can also preview it in a preview mode just to satisfy yourself how your image is scanned, quality of image. Even if you wish, you can edit that input image. Now, along with the scanners, there is a certain bundle softwares which you have to install. If you take a HP scanner, not only with the scanner, you will also get one CD or the software which you can install and which will give you image enhancing features. Then maximum document size, that means what can be the large portion that documents you can scan. Then next is your file formats. It can be JPEG, TIFF, PDF, GIF, or HTML. So these are the different file formats. These are supported by any scanner. Then it should have some interface, USB interface, FireWire interface, or sometimes SCSI interface. Let's see now how your scanner operates. That is what is the overview of scanner. Here, a motor moves scanning head across a paper of glass. So now I think instead of reading this, I'll better explain with the help of this particular figure. So if you see this particular figure, you'll find there is a glass bed at the top of this. That is a glass platform. Over this particular glass platform, actually you put the paper which you want to scan. So this is the original source paper which is placed just above the glass. Then you will find there is a light source, that is a fluorescent light tube is used as a light source and which is directly focused onto this particular glass. Then whatever the light that is focused onto this lights, once it is focused from, see, this is the direction of focus onto your source material document. Then this gets reflected from this particular source document. That means light is illuminated through the glass. It actually incident onto your paper, then it reflects from the paper. Then there are two pairs of image mirrors are used. This is positioned such that this will reflect that reflected light onto a mirror in such a way that it will again form one constant, that is focusing will be done of that reflected light through the lens, and that actually lens falls onto your CCD arrays. That is a diode as charge coupled diodes array are there, and based on the intensity that is incident onto this, it will directly convert this light into electrical signal. And when this light into electrical signal is converted, it is recorded and it is actually taken inside the computer. And when this entire image, now you can give it to the PC, and ultimately it will generate your digital file. So this is the very operation that is used in a flat grade scanner, which we normally use. So this is, I probably you might have used this scanner, and then from this scanner you can very easily understand. This is a glass top, this is a paper, this is a fluorescent, this is actually light is incident onto this, this is reflected is focused through the mirror. Another pair of mirror is used for focusing this reflected light through lens. It actually incident onto your CCD array, and actually it convert this light into corresponding electrical signal, which is further recorded, which is an analog signal, and from this analog signal it is converted into what we call as an one digital image, which gives you the exact replica of your source document. And this activity or this action is taken place very fast. So you can also see this is another type of scanner where actually you will find the paper stays stationary and your entire assembly moves. This is a fluorescent lamp light actually moves across this particular paper, and automatically it goes on scanning each and every part, and from this reflected light it impinges with focus. It is focused onto your CCD devices, and which ultimately gives you the corresponding electrical signal. So this is the way actually it is done. So if you see typical parts of a flatbed scanner are charge coupled devices, CCD array, it converts reflected lights into electrical charges. Then you have mirror, which is used to reflect image of a source document. Then you have a scan head. This scan head contains CCD array, mirrors, lens, and filters. Glass plate on which source document is placed face down, where you have to put your source document. Lamp, it is used to illuminate the source document. Then lens, it is used to focus image of a source document onto the CCD array. Then you also need a cover which provides the uniform background to you. At the same time, it avoids blinds. It blinds you from scanning the lamp, so that you will not have any uh, that fluorescent light will not come directly to your eyes. So it actually protects. At the same time, it gives you the uniform background to your page. If it is open, then you know that some black portions will be there into your scanning. Then filters are there. It adjusts the images of the documents. Stepper motor used to drive stabilizer bar. This stabilizer bar scan head is attached to this. Then belt is used, and it actually moves the stepper motor is used to advance stabilizer bar. That is, this is actually belt is attached to stepper motor, and with this belt mechanism actually you can move entire head assembly with the help of stepper motor across the paper. Then power supply, interface ports, and control circuitry. So these are the different parts of a typical scanner. Here, if you see, this is the one typical example that I have shown you how this flatbed scanner will be there, that you have to just open the cover, just put your document onto it and just start directly scanning this. So this can be consumer or professional, as well as consumer or professionals. Standard or high resolution it has. It is normally use linear CCD sensors, scan, print, even it scans, even it also is scanned some films also. Scan films to 8 into 10. It is affordable. Desktop scanners normally used. This is called as the desktop scanners or flatbed scanners. It is versatile and commonly used scanner. Now another type of scanner is drum scanner. It is used in professional high resolution. It captures the image using photo multiplier tubes. as it is used in advertising and publishing industries. It is highly resolution, so obviously it is very expensive. But it can both prints and as well as it can also scan the transparencies. Then another type of professional used is film scanners. Standard or very high resolution. Again uses linear CCD sensors. Scans film up to 4 by 5. That is film scanning is possible. 4 by 5 inches. Affordable and it is relatively expensive. And used to scan 35 films or slides, uses high resolution 3000 to 4000 dpi. You see how much high, very high resolution it is. In fact, 4000 dpi is a very high resolution. Professional graphic design, business and magazine publishers, this is normally used. Then when we talk about flatboard and film scanner, you can have either a single black and white scanner, or if you have a color scanner, then you'll have a red, green, blue channels are scanned separately. Added for scanning infrared or to detect unwanted information such as scratches and dust. These are normally used. Then you also have optical resolution 600 by 1200. That is optical resolution of 600 dpi. It is possible. In another important color bit depth, that is decide the quality of your pixel. When you have 48 bit, that means you have got a very large number of colors it supports. Then next is dynamic range. Each scanner will have its own range up to 4 stops. That means it can use up to it has 4 dynamically it can be used. Then this is a handheld scanner, which you probably see whenever you go in any shopping or malls, or when nowadays this is more common everywhere. Whenever you want to take a cost of this, or you automatically take the data, or even in library also you can use this type of handheld scanners, which actually scan something and automatically convert this into your respective either figures or data or like that. Of course, that you have to have that particular type of uh, scanning data, or this should be it has this is proper. It can recognize the scanned image, and this is very similar to now. Even nowadays you can also use the what we call as your QR code. That is a quick response code you are familiar with. Even now in mobile also you have a scanner, or even you can detect the QR code, and from that QR code automatically you can generate the data from this, or you can automatically uh, connect to certain links, or automatically you can pay something data. That is again application of scanner only. So that is QR code, similar type of applications. Then lastly, it is a sheet feed scanner. So here, this is if you really want to scan, it is just for, let us say, if you are given certain examination like UPSC MP examinations, then in that case, if your answer book is to be scanned, then for that this sheet feed scanner will be more useful to you, because it can scan about 100 or 200 pages per minute, and automatically not only scans this particular, but it will automatically convert into certain images. To my experience, I have used this sheet speed scanner somewhere here again, Maharashtra State Board Technology, Technical Education, where I have actually scanned all the mark sheets written by examiners, and these written examine mark sheets were converted into what we call as a digits were converted into actually handwritten mark sheets were converted into digits, and it has having a very good resolution. Even the person who write 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. These are the marks were almost with a 99% accuracy it was converted into this. And if it is confused, then it doesn't recognize it. It gives the error. Later on, you can convert this into. So there are many applications of a sheet feed scanner, which scans your document, and this entirely you can convert this into your digital image, and it is a very fast scanner. So I have just shown you some of the pictures of this sheet feed scanner. Then finally, what are the interfaces related with the scanner? So you can have 4 popular interfaces, which we have also covered in printer, you can have a parallel cable, that is 25 pin cable, which is now outdated. Even you can use a SCSI interface. Even I will say that is also outdated. Now most commonly used interfaces with the scanners are either USB interface or a firewire interface, or a third probably network interface. It can be wired interface or it can be a wireless interface. So these are the 5 types of scanner interfaces available by which you can connect the scanner to the computer. Then coming to the last part of your this lecture, that is scanner specifications. Again, I have collected a average type of scanner, that is HP flatbed scanner. Now, if you see this HP flatbed scanner, it itself says scanner type is a flatbed type. When you say ADF, that is called as an automatic document feeder. That means it will automatically take the sheets for scanning. Then scan resolution, it is optical scan resolution up to 2400 dpi. So it is reasonably a good scanner. Bit depth is again 48 bit. That means it will support millions of color, and the output quality will be much like a 4K quality. Level of grayscale, you can have a 256 color grayscale. Multi-feed detection, it can check. Automatic document feeder capacity, it can have a standard 50 sheets. Automatic document feeder scan speed, it can scan up to 8 pages per minute, or it can have 4 impressions per minute, 4 IP. Then what are the scan file format? Any file that you scan, it can be converted into BMP, bitmap file, or even JPEG, TIFF, or TIFF compress, PNG, PCS, FlashFix, PDF, RTF, rich text file format, or HTML file format, or TXT, or even there are certain Macintosh file formats. These are also supports. Then transparency adapter, that means how even you can scan the thin slides also, 35 slides, or you can scan these, or some negative portions also you can scan. Even the transparency now, which has become outdated. Earlier people used before uh, earlier people used to teach something from a transparency, that is writing on a glass of paper, not so not a glass paper, but it is on a plastic paper, transparent plastic paper, and it will be focused through the light onto this. But now this is being again this technology become outdated, but it is possible you can scan the transparency also. Here touch speed, that means how much time it will take to load the file by using this particular scanner. So this is the very fast. When it comes to size, flatbed scanner, that it can have a 216 into 279 That means it is relatively a very large flatbed scanner. It can take care of your almost I will say A3 paper scanner. It can be. So it is A4. Normally paper space flatbed scanners of A4 type, but if you want to have scan a larger document, you can go for A3 type scanners. Then scan size, it is given. Then media types. That means what type of papers can be used for scanning. Paper, banner, inkjet, photo, plane, envelopes, labels, cards, 3D objects, 35 slides, negatives, all these iron on transfer, the metallic parts and all this, everything you can use. This media can be scanned. Then transparency adapter, how much transparency you can have, you can use. Then scan speed preview mode, and that means how much time this whatever the scans it is, you can also able to see how what is actually it is, how it will be there, and for 10 seconds it will be visible to you. Then control panel, it has its own control panel where you can email the document, you can file the document, scan the document, or even you can take the photographs of these documents. Then operating temperature range, then at the same time a specific humidity range. So these are the some of the specifications of the scanner. Hope you have understood now these two topics, something related to printer and scanner. Both are the peripheral devices. when one it has got its own function, that is for taking hard copy or creating a digital image. These are the two contrary functions which has normally every person need to work on this. And the best way that you should have your printer or scanner, and you must have your own drivers to install it. So as in after finishing this all the lectures, probably I may demonstrate you some of the practical aspects through the laboratory. This is what I am planning, but let's see, this I will do after Diwali. So this is all about the printers and scanner I supposed to cover this lecture. If you have got any difficulty, you please ask.